Hey guys, Tim here. It is May 3rd and springtime finally hit 65 today. It's supposed to be 70 the rest of the week. If you watched my last video, you know that I had picked up bees that day. Awful day to be putting in bees. Windy, rainy, just nasty out. Anyway, we're doing a check today. A couple of things going on that we have to look at. The little split that I made, well, you guys watch. You'll get the hang of what's going on. We're going to check on the split and 3 packages and probably some other stuff, or 3 installs, 2 nukes in a package. So we'll see what's going on at the bee yard. It's always fun when you pull up and there's a hatch going on. They're actually, a lot of these guys have gone inside in just the last minute or so that I pulled in here. You probably see them all right. Just pretty decent little hatch. And it is breezy again, man. It was nice all morning, but breezy again now. That one, and then a little hatch going on. So this is the new hive of carnies that I got last weekend. Man, pretty drones. You guys see these drones? Look how pretty those drones are. There, that's awesome. Anyway, little hatch going on there. And then our split. So here is our split that came off of big giant hive here, Colossus. Remember, it was 4 frames off of this, and you saw me put the queen in there on my last video. That was a split that I inserted the queen in. I can tell you now that that queen, said queen that you saw, is dead, because these guys decided to kill her. So kind of my fault on this is when I grabbed those frames from my big hive of carnies, I should have inspected them a little better. They were swarm frames, but the cups weren't made yet. The queen cells weren't made yet. And so I just pulled out a frame yesterday, Thursday, just to look to make sure one more time that I knew that that queen was dead. And there's 6 gigantic capped queen cells in here. And so I'm not going to open them today, because yesterday I busted one pulling them out of there. They had them actually hooked to the bottom, from the bottom of the frame to, because they're swarm cells. They grew down off the bottom of the frame, and they had them hooked to the bottom of the nuke actually. And so I'm going to leave them. I'm not going to open that up, but keep in mind that's what's going on there, is they're making their own queen. And so right now we are going to set up. We're going to set up another box, another hive, because I have another hive coming tomorrow. And so we're at the 10 frame yard. We're going to set up a 10 frame hive, another one right here. So that's going to be carnies. So I'm going to have, I'm sorry, those aren't carnies, those are Italians. So I'm going to have carnies, Italians, carnies, and Italians. And so this is Jabba's lineage right here. My old queen Jabba, who was meaner than hell. Anyway, so we're going to set that up, and then I'm going to do just a quick inspection on these guys. I'm going to put some max on there, because I did find some mites in there. It's warm enough now. It's going to be warm enough this week. Finally 70. Then I'm going to treat. And then this is the first time that I'll have done an inspection on this hive since I put it in. So let's get started. So I don't have my smoker on yet. I want to see how these guys are first and what their temperament is. So I did crack this hive open just to see what was going on yesterday when I was checking on this little split, and it had bees the whole way across it. So 5 frames go here from the nuke, I usually split, because this is a 10 frame, I usually split 2 and 3 there. And so what I'm doing today is I just want to see how everyone's looking. Not too awful. Just started getting a little windy. That kind of sucks. So I don't know how long it's supposed to be windy. It's been windy, so windy lately that it's been hard working bees. But so what I want to do is just see right now what's going on with our queen and what's going on with eggs. When I put this, it was so quick. When I put this split in here, when I put this nuke in here last weekend, it was so crappy and raining so hard that I just threw them in real quick. I didn't really have a lot of time to look to see what was going on. So we're gonna look right now. So they have a little attitude, but not bad. So she is on the 4th frame in right here. First one out, totally pollen. Second one out, totally eggs. Third one out, totally eggs. And she was just right here. She might have jumped ship or flipped sides. Well, I don't know where she went now. She was just on this frame right here. See if we can take another look. Beautiful pollen in here. You guys can see this pollen all in here. It's really great looking. Orange, red, just all different kinds of colors. Oh, here she is, right here. So she is right. You see her right here? Right here. Great looking hive of bees. I've seen, I think, all I want to see now with these guys. They are getting pretty full. And so because of that, I'm going to add a second to them already. They're ready for it as much as they're expanding. So a little bit grouchy, but not bad. Got a little attitude, but I like a little attitude with my bees. I think that they seem to stay a little healthier. Squeeze these guys over just a hair more. There we go. Well, and that was that total pollen frame there. So what we're going to do is just put these patties back on here that they were chewing on. Put them on a different direction. They're hauling in a ton of pollen, so they probably don't need these. But what I'll do is just take and kind of smash those down, because I'm going to put my second box on. And that's it. First one done. All right, second box is on, and we're good. I know that I've got a laying queen in there. I'll probably hit them with some oxalic acid right now, and maybe even some Max. I've got Max with me. I might lay one strip in there, or give them a little bit of time to settle down. But anyway, yeah, so second box is on. Carney box is set up. We're going to jump into the big Italian hive and just going to check out, see if we see any swarm cells. Is kind of what we're looking for there. So on to, I call the Liberty Hive, because this queen was born on the 4th of July a couple years ago. I am going to put in a chunk of drone comb. I have my Max. I did fire up my smoker because people are getting a little testy. And so all I'm going to do, I know there's no brood up here because I have my queen excluder on, because she was laying up there. I don't want her laying up there. And so I'm just going to run through, look for some swarm cells real quick, make sure everything is copacetic, and then lay down some max and button them up. And they're going to be pissed when I put the max on, but that's okay. So here we go. Okay, so brood here, and here, but just a little bit. But I did take out, I was messing around with some drone brood here because I wanted to see if there were any mites on it. And then I did find some little queen cups there too, but there's always going to be emergency cells. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this little patch of brood and see if I can find any mites on here to show you guys. Okay, so no mites. I went through that chunk of comb. There was probably, between everything that I pitched off, because I pitched a bunch down here on the ground too while I was going through them, so probably 20 drones, 20 chunks of drone comb or cells of drone comb. Didn't find any mites. And so you're just looking for them on the drones and in the cells here, but didn't see any. So let's get back into this hive. A few queen cups in this upper box, but honestly nothing really to worry about. Just the smallest little bit of drone comb. That's a good looking frame of brood right there. You guys see this? Pretty good layer. Big old drones in there, and then one little queen cup on that frame. This hive is amazing how much propolis these bees make. For Italians, they make a ton of it. Everyone's in a pretty decent mood today. So a couple little queen cups right here. Hives are always going to have queen cups. If you see those guys, they're empty. And Mama is down in the lower box. So I'm going to push everybody together real quick. Smoker went out again. Damn it. Oh. We might have some life. I'm going to push everybody back together again real quick and just bust into the lower hive quick and close these guys up because it is getting kind of breezy out. And then when I do, after I get down there, I'm going to throw on some max real quick. So here we go. Okay, so our chunk of drone comb is going in. Just remembered I wanted to put that in before I close them up. And I'm going to keep it up here in this upper box. Seems like that's where most of the drone comb has been. That she's been laying anyway. So I'm going to put it in this drone frame and let them draw that thing out. And see how it goes. I got a few bees left on this. I'm just going to leave this little nectar frame right here and let them, see if I can give them a shake. So they'll come off of here. All right, into the second. So I can already see lots of drone comb on these couple of frames right here. See down, if you guys can see down in there, bees are coming back out on it now, but they're all wedged together with drone comb. So I'm not really super crazy excited about it. I might just pull a frame or two next to it and then do a whole box tip to look underneath to see if I see any cells. Swarm cells aren't going to be on the top. They're going to be underneath the frame. I think everybody's good in these hives. But we're going to take a look anyways since we're here. I think these guys are doing good. So this is a really cool frame. I put this frame in here last year. And it is just a foundationless frame. See how much bigger these cells look? It's actually really cool looking. But here's our girl right here. See her? And just laying away right here. Laying away, just a great frame of foundationless brood and full of eggs and babies. So what I'm going to do is then just separate. I know she's here. I'm going to go to these frames because I can see quite a bit of brood on them, except for breaking open this drone comb right here. But I feel confident that this hive isn't big enough to swarm yet, and so I'll probably check one more, throw on a max, and call it good for the day for here, and just know that everyone's doing good. Okay, so this is where they're gonna get grouchy because I'm putting this strip of max on here, and they hate this stuff, this formic acid. Not just them, I hate this stuff too. Ooh. But we have good enough ventilation today, so that's fine. Getting it opened up here, as you guys can hear. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I got my max. I'm going to get these guys all down like this. And because I know that there's a brood cluster here, and again in the same spot right where the queen excluder is, that's where I'm going to do most of my damage. They're moving fast. So one strip of max is on right here in between the brood. This is going on, inner cover is going on, and we're done. They don't like that stuff. So the other thing that I did was I brought a vent board with me that I'm going to go grab, and I'll throw that vent board on there too, just for a little extra ventilation. Okay, so just like that. So a little extra ventilation. The max is huge with ventilation. Typically I run these vent boards right here, but it's still cool enough at night that I don't want to. They say that those max, your daytime temperature should be between 50 and 85. We're going to be like mid 60s to 70 all week, and so I'm just doing a one strip application. Everyone's doing fine there, but I don't want to open the hive up too much because of our cooler night temperatures here and chill any brood. And so that's why they still have ventilation coming into the hive here. It's just sitting on top of this, and I'll just take that off probably in like a week or so. They tell you that you don't have to take the max off of there, that you can just leave them and the bees will deal with them, but I usually strip them off of there anyway. So then got our vents, we're vented here up top, and then we're going to put on our cover, and that's just going to help with our ventilation and call it good. We're going to throw on our brick, and we did hive inspections for the day at the 10 frame yard. So that's what we have.